This week, tech giant Apple is acting like the bully in the class, and they are saying play by our rules or don't play at all, and content creators could be in danger. Next up, robots are becoming pop stars in Germany as an AI-made song is climbing the charts. We are in the endgame, Mr. Stark. Remember that big desert party everyone talks about? Well, this year, it is having some trouble. We also got news about some super fancy music gear, and there's also a funny story about politicians using songs without asking. And even more that I can't even mention. So buckle up, because it is that time of the week. It is time to tune in. Apple is one of the most valuable companies in the world. Its current stock price is around $230 per share, makes the company worth $3.37 trillion. That is like a billion with T's for extra emphasis. The company has so much value that it is worth more than several countries. It is so big that if it spent $1 every second, it will take 96 plus years to spend all this money. So when the company tells you that you need to change something in order to have access to its platform, you kind of have to listen, especially when they threaten you. Even if your company has an estimated worth of $4 billion, and yes, to quote the movie The Social Network, you know what is cooler than being a millionaire? Being a billionaire. These though are going to win in a fight every time, and that's what's happening right now. This week, Apple gave Patreon an ultimatum, and I'm honestly confused as to how this benefits the consumer in any way. If you have never used the platform Patreon before, now is your chance, as you can head to the links below and support our channel by subscribing to my Patreon so I can afford to keep making videos like this. As a Patreon, you pledge to support the creators with a monthly donation to the artists that you are subscribing to, and then these funds go directly to help fund better content in the future, and typically come with the promise of something in return from the artist. Patreon has been using a billing system that was not Apple's billing system to process those payments, as they were interested in sending the maximum amount to the artist by taking relatively small transaction fees. Apple's billing system is expensive. The amount the Fruity company makes of each transaction is 30%, which is to me is mind-juggling. This is more than double what the transaction fees were under the non-Apple billing system that Patreon had been using. Creators are given the option of maintaining the current pricing to their current subscribers on iOS devices, or to raise the prices to compensate for the increased costs. Neither option is great, as creators are either going to lose valuable income, or consumers who are getting hit with the high inflation anyways are going to have to be willing to pay more. This issue is not just a Patreon issue either, as there are currently several court cases being heard around the world about the legal issues of requiring companies to specifically use the Apple transaction services. I suggest if you are currently supporting any creator or artist, if you sign up for a membership through Apple's iOS platform, see if you can switch the membership by signing up on your home computer directly through the Patreon's website instead. This helps the creators and artists not to choose between raising prices just because you use an iPhone, or contributing the additional seconds of dollar value to Apple, because 96 years from now it won't matter. There are cracks showing in the wave of AI hype, as questions have started to be published about how AI companies will live up to the value that is being given to the startups. Just last week, AI hardware makers Nvidia and AMD saw their stocks start to drop significantly, as investors wondered if the AI wave was finally passing. In Germany, the only appropriate thing to do was to push an AI-generated pop song onto the listening charts. Germans. In a world first, producer Butterbro is this serious? Does he wear a helmet that looks like a stick of a butter? Please tell me this isn't a marshmallow clone. Or maybe that should be what he does. The track In Love with Italian, which was created using UDO, has landed on the top 50 most requested songs in the country. I told you this would happen, didn't you? It was just 2 months ago. I had a video about it. So while we are still working out how AI startups are going to get revenue and which companies are getting to be valuable, the robots are now in the pop charts, and probably here to stay. If you are enjoying the video, please consider like and subscribe. It really helps a ton. Going to a music festival for a lot of people around the world is a way to escape from their daily lives. With cost of living increasing and the prices of essentials like food going up constantly, that escape isn't going to be a reality for some people this year. Burning Man, the anti-establishment come be yourself and live a free life festival, failed to sell out this year for the first time in a decade. There had been rumors that ticket sales were not meeting expectations when late last month 3,000 last-minute tickets were released. The party is restricted to a maximum of 73,000 attendees due to environmental controls that restrict the number that can gather on the playa in order to protect it from permanent damage. In the last 10 years, tickets have become increasingly hard to secure. The event is built around camps that bring their crew to build out the temporary art structures in the desert, and a system had been put in place to guarantee the building crews had secured spots. Trading of tickets would happen, and the secondary resale market saw pricing spike as the event got closer each season. This year that problem won't be an issue, as it's likely that tickets will be still available on day 1, August 25th. So if you can sneak away from your life and want to experience what attendees believe is a life-altering experience, you can still secure your spot on Burning Man today. It seems like ages ago that Superboo took over Berlin at the beginning of summer and synth announcements were hot and heavy. Yet we are still getting announcements like this week, as Austrian synth maker Mayor EMI has finally moved to production and sale of his Vibe synth. The desktop synth is loaded with features including 24 voices of polyphony, a true stereo audio path, making all sounds stereo from the beginning instead of using effects to create width. There is a drum computer, a clip launcher with 7 tracks and up to 8 clips per track, an arpeggiator, step sequencer, a digital audio mixer for 19 stereo input channels as well. You even get 14 GB of internal storage for presets and samples, and a 5-inch touchscreen to operate all the various controls, as well as the typical knob assignments for filters and envelopes. It is even Wi-Fi compatible, so that updates can be sent to it without connecting to a PC. It kind of is an all-in-one music workstation rather than a synth actually. With the wood side panels, the premium feel is there too, as it tries to justify the 2,300 euros price point. If all of these features sounds like the right tool for you to get away from making music inside your DAW for an afternoon, you can order the Vibes now, and I'll put the link in the description below. Field recorders come in handy for all kinds of different things, from recording samples of crosswalks in Australia to making sure you have captured your DJ set to post after your biggest event ever, making a recorder a good investment. Zoom's recorders are considered to be some of the best available options, with their lightweight design and portable form factors that don't break the bank. Their latest product, the H1 XLR, has stripped back the design even further to make the units accessible to more musicians. Removing the onboard microphones and touchscreen functions, the device is now targeted more for those that either have a mic compatible with a mini jack headphone line input, or for recording out of a DJ mixer or console. The device records at 32-bit float 96 kHz, meaning dialing in the right recording level is less important, as you can't really cause clipping with 32-bit audio. You can record up to 10 hours with 2 AA batteries, and the micro SD card slot supports up to 1 TB of recording space. It can also be used as a USB interface, meaning there is no need for bringing your Scarlett on the road with you if you feel like recording into a laptop. All these features can be fit nicely into your pocket for the price of 150 euros and are available now. If portable recording isn't your thing and you have money that has been burning a hole in your wallet, there is a studio interface that I can suggest you sell your stocks for. Lynx Audio makes studio equipment for high-end recording studios, and they know their target audience. If you own a professional studio, getting the best quality audio to and from your computer hardware is very important. The original high-low audio interface was designed specifically with the high-end studios in mind, and the latest revision takes things to the next level. With 2 inputs, 6 outputs, the Hilo 2 won't wow anyone with the amount of devices it can connect to, but what it lacks in I/O, it makes up for in quality of audio. That's at least what they say. We are really going into snake oil direction. With an extremely low noise and distortion level on the line inputs and outputs, each component internally has been selected for its ability to not interfere with any other component in the system. This means recording and playback are insanely accurate. The new device also has the looks to match its high-end internal processing. The 7-inch screen has been updated to its brighter, and the UI gives a high-end readout of the audio signal. I mean, who wouldn't want that graphic EQ to stare at while doing mixing and mastering? The company claims that recording is possible above 192 kHz, which I don't know who would ever need that, but it will be cool just to say you could do it. There is even a linear and minimum phase filter that's assignable in the device to help process the audio correctly without changing or damaging the audio. I mean, that linear filter sounds like a lot of prayer ringing to me. I don't know. This all sounds amazing, so how much does it cost? There are 2 versions, with the lowest priced version being 4,600 euros. At least we can all go to sleep tonight dreaming of that graphical EQ dancing in our heads. Percussion can give your track that groove and really bring any song to life if applied correctly. That's what they say. Ellie James Lab has a new plugin that wants to be your go-to for creating synthetic percussion sounds. The SY4X is a recreation of the SY1 module from Pearl that was produced in the late 1970s. The original hardware unit hasn't been in production for a long time, and if you are thinking the name sounds familiar, you will be correct. A few months ago, I talked about the Behringer clone that is on sale now. If you would prefer to try out the device in a digital format, the SY4X not only recreates the original, but stakes 4 instances of the device into a single plugin. The developer didn't stop there, as they even added 2 Berserk modes, which are as crazy as it sounds. The modes make the sound super aggressive and ultra clip and filtered post-standard output, really pushing things into a crazy level. The plugin is available now in both VST and AU formats, and there's a link below if you want to check it out for 51 euros. Viewers in US, please understand that this year, the rest of the world is grabbing their popcorn and has an appointment viewing rightly for what is going on in your country. Elections in USA have far-reaching effects, but this year there has been more drama than the latest season of Love is Blind. Twists and turns, assassination attempts, candidates dropping out, bad Twitter interviews. You get the idea. We really can't look away. So what does this have to do with the music news? Isaac Hayes, God rest his soul, gave the world a masterpiece in Hold On, Coming in 1966. While the singer is no longer living, his son and the right holders have now filed a lawsuit against Donald Trump. The Orange Republican nominee has been using the song regularly for years at his rallies and gatherings and was told to stop. Trump, being who he is, basically ignored the demands and kept on tracking along for 2 years without paying anything or even acknowledging any wrongdoings. If anyone is surprised that there was nothing done by the Trump campaign, then you haven't been paying much attention. The family has finally had enough and have sued the campaign for $3 million for the violation of licensing fees for the right to perform the track at large gatherings. This isn't the first time Trump has upset artists, as Olympic singer Celine Dion also complained about the use of the Titanic theme song My heart will go on at one of Trump's Montana rallies. How do you even use that song? Oh my god. Her post on social media sums it up pretty well if you ask me. While the wave of AI hype may be dying down, the lawsuits and legal issues around AI are going to go on for a long time, like really long. A lawsuit against AI company Anthropic that had been filed by the music publishers finally got a trial date, and it is not this year or next year, but 2026, before courts will even start to hear arguments from the lawyers. In the technology world, advancements happen fast. Moore's law states that technology doubles in power every other year, and this has been happening since the 1970s, if not faster. So 2 years from now, will a lawsuit against a tech company even be irrelevant? This is the issue that is being faced by countries and companies around the world. If you sue one of the AI companies, will the lawsuit even matter when it finally gets heard? The original lawsuit was filed in 2023, so this means 3 years will have passed since the time the publishers brought the issues to light. So let me know in the comments below, are all of these lawsuits even worth paying attention to? While the cost of making music has both come down in terms of free software available and gone up in terms of cost of hardware to make sounds, it is also harder than ever to make profits from your work. Streaming payouts are low, and there's only a limited number of performing spots available at festivals, and nightclubs don't seem to increasing payments to DJs these days. So how do you support yourself as a musician? One way is to get people to wear your brand on their clothing. Super easy. Tell me, everybody wants to have a Biscuit t-shirt here, right? Right? Merch is a great way to supplement your income by giving your fans the opportunity to wear gear that looks great and shows their real fandom to the public. Soundcloud believes that this should be available for all artists and that 100% of the profits should be returned to them. The company is now offering a merch store that boasts no upfront cost and no payment for inventory fees or storage fees. All hoodies, shirts, or exclusive accessories will be made to order and shipped directly to the buyer. SoundCloud will even help to notify fans about new merch that you have in your store. While print-on-demand services have been around for a long time, having it tied to a pre-existing page or built-in fan base like SoundCloud makes it a pretty interesting concept. The storefronts aren't available to anyone, you need to be a pro subscriber, and there's an application process, but SoundCloud is looking to expand the services rapidly. I will put a link in the description below for anyone interested in seeing if they can sell the next Metallica tour t-shirts for themselves. And to end the news, I leave you with the latest sign that reality is collapsing and we are living in the end times. At Comic-Con, Disney announced a new movie in the Tron series, Tron Ares. The last Tron movie had music that was made by French electronic duo Daft Punk and was actually praised as better than the film itself. In one of the oddest pairings of partners in history of the world, Disney has given the task of following that iconic music collaboration up to Dark Industrial King's 9 Inch Nails. The family-oriented business, working with a group whose name comes from the nails used to kill Christ himself, is just a thing that wasn't on anyone's 2024 bingo card. The movie arrives in 2025, and I hope that its release doesn't trigger gravity to stop working, the poles to flip, but I can't promise anything. Thanks for joining us this week as we returned from our summer break, and we invite you to tune in next week for more new music.